Today's episode takes us to Etihad Stadium in Manchester, where we break down what may be one of the most uncomfortable and revealing interactions ever featured on this channel. A veteran officer with over 20 years of experience ends up undermining his own credibility in a matter of moments, attempting to detain a man for filming a public landmark, only to realize he can't clearly justify the law he's trying to enforce. What unfolds isn't just a minor slip-up, but a striking example of how quickly authority can unravel when it isn't backed by proper knowledge or professionalism. Let's dive straight into it.
You're filming people.
I'm not filming. I'm not filming them people at all.
I've just stood watching you.
No, I was changing the battery.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to dispute that, but you were stood by a fence line observing people. Have you got a ticket for the match?
For your own sake, in future, if you have press as well, because it's quite a common question for press that we would ask.
You're just using every trick in the book. You want to do this, don't you? Go on, come on, go and do it.
Your name and address.
Go on, do it. Come on.
I don't want to search it.
Okay.
I'm asking for your name
What do you
and
want?
address.
Why do you want my name and address?
Like I've said,
Under what provision do you want my address? Just make it
based
clear
on
to
the
me.
current counter-terrorism threat,
Yep.
you've been with this group of people all
Yep.
day. You're now on private property.
Yep.
You've disputed the fact that you're filming on private property. It's a massive football fixture. 54,000 people are going to be present. You've not got a ticket.
A camera,
you're on private land.
a camera isn't a device of terrorist
And
purposes.
you're acting suspiciously.
I'm not. You're just using every trick in the book. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. It's cool.
I'm not going any further. I'll give you my grounds, okay? So,
So what provision are you enforcing, sir? Just to,
I'm after your
just to
name
make
and
it clear.
address.
No, what provision?
Like I've explained.
What provision? What section of what?
Under the counter-terrorism law.
Which section?
I'm obliged to ask for your name and address.
Yeah, but which section?
Go on then.
Watch the
If you're so confident, tell me your name and address. The officer pushes, but the man calmly challenges him. Under what legal provision are you asking for that? What follows is a tense back and forth where the officer leans on vague references to counterterrorism powers, claiming the man has been acting suspiciously near a major football event and is now on private property without a ticket. He points to the presence of a camera and large crowds as justification, yet struggles to clearly explain the specific law he's relying on. Meanwhile, the man stands his ground, repeatedly asking for the exact section being enforced. The exchange quickly exposes a critical flaw. Rather than citing a concrete legal basis, the officer relies on broad, ambiguous language that sounds authoritative but lacks substance. It comes across less like a lawful exercise of power and more like an attempt to pressure compliance through confusion and intimidation, highlighting how easily authority can be misapplied when it isn't backed by clear legal understanding.
Which section?
Yeah, I need to know for my personal records because I keep personal records.
That's fine. I'll refer to my pocket notebook and
Yep.
I'll give you a full legislation hit. But whilst we're doing that,
Yep.
you give me your name and address.
But you've got
okay?
access to PNLD. If you
Here
can
we
find
go.
a section, you
will.
find a section, I'll comply with you.
That's fine.
Good man.
Have you got permission off the club to be here? No.
I haven't been asked by the landowner to leave, but
Not at the moment you haven't, but obviously this is a football fixture and we're on behalf of the club.
if you want to do the thing, I'll comply with you. I'm going in a minute anyway, dude.
You're
I'm
going
not-
nowhere at the moment. Okay, you're detained
Am
until
I
I confirm
detained?
your name and address.
Under what section am I detained?
I'm going to confirm that shortly.
The officer
officer-
informs the man that he's being detained, but then immediately admits he'll confirm the legal section shortly, a moment that exposes a serious procedural breakdown. In UK policing, detaining someone isn't something you figure out as you go. The officer is required to clearly state both the legal power and the grounds for the detention at the exact time it happens, as outlined in PACE Code G. Failing to do so undermines the legitimacy of the entire interaction. Instead of demonstrating control and knowledge, the situation reveals hesitation and uncertainty, creating the impression that the detention is being justified after the fact rather than grounded in a lawful basis
No
from the
better.
outset.
Okay.
Surely, 'cause-
under the counter-terrorism legislation, you've been acting suspiciously all day around a large group
Right.
of people.
You know I haven't. You're just making it up because you don't like me being here.
I've got body-worn
Even
footage
though-
of you all
So
day
have I.
in the city centre.
So have I.
Which concerns me slightly.
Why does it concern?
Because I'm lawfully obliged to take my video capture. You've said you press, you've got no
Right,
press
come on
badge.
then. What do you want? My name and address, yeah?
You're lovely, yeah. Driving licence, any ID.
Just
And can you
to...
confirm which press agency you're working for, or
No.
you freelance?
Just to... which section am I providing these to you?
I will give you the section, like I've said. At the minute,
So I'm detained without a section, without a... I'm just detained.
Yes, you are, yeah. For acting
Are you sure?
suspiciously. Yes, I am sure.
What's your calling number for me?
There's my calling number.
18241. Cheers, bro. There you
Very
go.
much. I appreciate that.
No worries.
In 20 years of policing, mate.
You've messed up, not me, mate. You know this, and your colleague knows as well.
I disagree entirely.
No, your colleague knows as well, so he's laughing.
I disagree entirely, mate.
I know, dude.
This is the point where the officer's position really starts to unravel. The man chooses to provide his details, not because Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000 actually requires him to do so in this context, but as a calculated move to remove any justification for prolonging the encounter. By cooperating, he effectively takes away the officer's stated grounds for suspicion, yet the detention continues without any clear reference to a specific statutory power. That's where the issue becomes critical. Restricting someone's liberty isn't based on vague suspicion or instinct. It must be grounded in a clearly defined legal authority. When that authority isn't properly identified or articulated, the situation stops looking like lawful policing and starts to resemble confusion and overreach, raising serious questions about competence and accountability.
I know. Don't worry about it.
That's fine.
We all make mistakes, my friend.
Are you known
It's
to the
Section
police?
43, I think.
Well, it's very kind of you to try
No
and
worries.
reference that. Once I've put you through and I've confirmed your details, are you registered at this address? Because it's an offence not to have the correct
Registered.
address on your driving licence. Are you registered at that address?
It's an offence to drive with it, but
It's an offence to have the wrong address on your driving licence.
what do you mean registered at the address?
Basically,
Do
do you live
do you live at that address?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's frozen, so you have to bear with me for the moment, okay?
So am I detained under Section 43 at the moment?
You've referenced that. I've not given you my full grounds, but what I have told you is I've got enough grounds currently, based on your actions today and the evidence on my body-worn
Right,
video,
okay.
to suggest
So-
you're up to no good.
To suggest I'm up to no good?
If you've provided the fact that you're filming for a company and you've got permission
I'm not filming
to
for
be
a
here,
company.
You said you remember the press.
I'm freelance press. Anyone could be press. You can be press.
Yes, if you have a badge and ID.
No. You can consider yourself
The
press.
situation takes another turn when the officer that real press should be carrying identification, a claim that simply doesn't hold up under UK law. There is no legal requirement for journalists or photographers to carry a press card, whether they're working for BBC or operating independently. Press credentials can be useful for access or credibility, but they are not a statutory obligation, and failing to produce one is not grounds for detention or suspicion. By insisting otherwise, the officer appears to be inventing standards on the spot to justify an already shaky position, which only further weakens the legitimacy of his actions and highlights a troubling gap between authority and actual legal knowledge.
What we'll do also, I'm going to fill in an intelligence submission when I go back to the station, okay? Detailing this stop and why we've done it, okay?
As you're required to do. Terrifying. Shame you didn't do one of these against Salman Abedi.
Again, it's really,
Nothing
really,
to do with you. Nothing. I get it.
If that's how you feel, mate, that's how you feel.
No worries.
It's okay.
You know I'm not a terrorist. I know I'm not a terrorist. She knows I'm not a terrorist. He knows I'm not a terrorist because he's seen me all day filming football fans and he knows I'm press.
I know you're not up to no good, mate.
You know I'm up to no good. You know for a fact.
Yeah, you're trying to mouth off and go on about the Manchester bomb and be disrespectful to what I do.
What?
I've just
What
told
am I
you.
doing that's up to no good?
You're filming in a private area, large groups of public entering an iconic site.
You're
within
allowed
Manchester.
to access this until you're asked to leave.
Right.
Trespass is a civil matter. It's not illegal.
Yeah. You're trying to question every ground I've
Of
given
course
you.
I am, because I have civil rights, and the second I give them up, I'll lose them.
As the officer's earlier reasoning starts to collapse, he shifts to the idea that being on stadium property somehow justifies his actions. But that argument quickly falls apart. The man pushes back, pointing out that merely being on private land is generally a civil matter, not a criminal offense unless specific legal conditions are met. Instead of clarifying his position with a solid legal basis, the officer grows defensive, complaining that his grounds are being questioned. Yet that scrutiny is entirely appropriate when someone's freedom is being restricted. Police powers must be rooted in clearly defined statutory authority, not assumptions or personal interpretations. Acting as an unofficial enforcer for a venue without a lawful footing blurs the line between public duty and overreach. And the more the officer leans on weak justifications, The more the encounter highlights a disconnect between authority and actual legal grounding.
You're the one being unlawful here, not me. This is an unlawful stop search because you haven't quoted the section or the provision.
This is a stop and account.
Yeah.
Have I laid a finger on you?
You've detained me.
Have I laid a finger on you?
That is an assault because you've detained me unlawfully. You know it's an assault. You don't have to touch someone for an assault. You know that. You're a cop. You know that. This is an unlawful stop search. £500 per hour, sir. You know.
That's an opinion from yourself.
No, it's fact, case law. I've done it a few times.
Very well.
Don't worry, it's going on. Don't worry.
You'll notice that's not speeding up my process. I'm doing my job now, okay?
Don't worry, dude. If it goes over an hour, it'll be it's easy. You know what unlawful detention looks like. You know what it looks like.
Mate, I understand my powers, I understand my grounds, okay?
You haven't given reasonable grounds for a terrorist search.
Well,
you haven't given any grounds.
I've told you what
You just said suspicious activity.
What's your current address? We've got 2 addresses on the system for you.
What address have you got and I'll confirm it?
We've got this one, and we've got an address.
Just put that one.
That one. Okay. So you're living there at the moment.
Sometimes, yeah. I'm a vulnerable adult with mental health conditions. I live at separate addresses and I'm under the care of separate people.
Okay. What mental health conditions have you got?
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Right. Do you wish to share how you're feeling at the moment?
Fine.
Need any support? Do you need any support?
No.
The moment the conversation shifts to mental health, the officer makes a noticeable pivot. Having leaned heavily on vague counterterrorism concerns earlier, he abruptly changes tone, moving from treating the man as a potential threat to presenting himself as someone concerned about his well-being. It's a sharp contrast that raises questions about consistency, especially since no clear legal basis had been established beforehand. Rather than addressing the earlier justification for the detention, the focus shifts toward welfare, which can come across less like genuine support and more like an attempt to redirect the situation. When an encounter transitions this quickly without acknowledging the initial grounds, it risks appearing as though the objective has changed simply to de-escalate without fully accounting for what's already taken place.
We're not going to get
somebody
into
to
that.
go home with.
I'm perfectly able to go home. Promise you. Promise you that.
Right, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to leave the area now, okay?
Sorry?
I'm going to ask you to leave the area to the gate, and then that's public land.
I'm going home anyway. That was my plan. Just as I was changing the battery, I was going
The
home.
encounter wraps up with the officer still issuing directions, telling the man to leave an area he was already preparing to exit, bringing the situation to an awkward close. Despite years of experience, he never clearly establishes a lawful basis for his earlier actions, and the decision to disengage seems less like resolution and more like a quiet retreat once it becomes clear the interaction is being scrutinized. What unfolded outside Etihad Stadium feels like a clash between old habits of authority and a modern environment where knowledge of rights and accountability are front and center. Initial claims tied to counterterrorism powers fade away, replaced by shifting justifications that never fully land. Meanwhile, the other officer remains on the sidelines, possibly recognizing the uncertainty and choosing not to escalate further. In the end, the exchange highlights a simple reality. Authority carries weight only when it's backed by clear legal understanding, and when that foundation is missing, even routine encounters can unravel quickly.